This is one of those situations where I said I would never do this again, and I ended up doing it.
They're a tool I use in my ministry, which is my vocation. And sometimes you need to spend money on expensive tools. You can just look at the commentaries behind me. I have no problem spending money on stuff. It's just for the way I use it, I don't think the Premium Bible is the best tool decision for me.
So I'm Chad, I'm a pastor here in Louisiana. I make videos about the Bible, the spiritual life, and the everyday life of a pastor. And today I want to talk about the Zondervan New Revised Standard Single Column Reference Bible from the Premier Collection, because I did it again. I said I didn't see a situation where I would ever really need another premium Bible, and I bought a premium Bible actually like 2 months ago. And it took a bit of work to get here to the house, but I feel like I need to tell you about why I did this before we jump into a review of this Bible, because it's a really, really good Bible. The first one is this. For me, preaching Bibles, and that's what this is. This is my preaching Bible. Preaching Bibles notate seasons of life. My wife and I discerned last year that it was time to leave the church that we planted around 9 years ago to move 2 hours down south across the state. And I transitioned away from full-time local church ministry into more of a bivocational ministry where I'm pastoring 2 small rural congregations in the United Methodist Church, as well as working as a coach and a developer with a company inside the United Methodist Church. So things were changing a little bit. So I wanted to do a new Bible and to start off on something else for this new season. And I wanted to do New Revised Standard for a couple of reasons. One, I love the New Revised Standard. The New Revised Standard hits all of my translation rules. It's an ecumenical translation. Translate the whole gender male-female conversation accurately according to the original languages. If you're gonna jump into that on the comments, I'm just gonna delete you because I don't do and deal with trolls. The second is the Pew translation in these 2 small country churches I'm pastoring. The New Revised Standard version it was like the standard United Methodist translation for the longest time. And we're not going to talk about the CEB and what a dumpster fire of a translation that is. But I'm leading a traditionally worshiping congregation, 2 of them. They do the full-out liturgy, the Gloria Patri. They sing the doxology. We say the creed every Sunday, all of that. So I felt like the New Revised Standard version just fits this context that I will probably be in for quite some time. And if I'm going to be like this for a while, so using the New Revised Standard as my preaching Bible, and in this season of bivocational, co-vocational ministry, whatever word you want to attach to it, I want to get a New Revised Standard version that I really love. It's a really great Bible, and it's a really great NRSV Bible. And finding a good NRSV Bible is really tough. It's a challenge. It's almost as hard as finding a good New Living Translation. So let's get into the actual Bible review. This is a really, really good Bible. There's a couple stuff I like about this. The first is this, the outside of this. This is cool. I like it. I only have a couple of premium Bibles. Really, I've got my Allan New Living Translation, and then I've got a genuine leather NRSV that came with the Wesley Study Bible. I can't think exactly who made that, but this leather, the grain is a little bit tighter. This is smooth. I'm digging the ribs on the outside. This just feels like really, really solid. I put my name in it. I mean, you can't, it's hard to find your name in Bibles now. My mom actually has a Bible engraver at the house. She found one in the back of my dad's church and nobody was using it. And so she just took it upon herself to learn how to do it. So thanks to mom put it on there. We kind of boogered it up a little bit, but I'm all right with that because, when you booger up things, even when they're nice things, that means that you're willing to actually own the stuff that you got. So it says in there, Reverend Chad Brooks, right there on top, because I said, this is preaching Bible. This is my fancy Bible. I love the fact that this Bible has a color profile. Now, when you pick it up, you see the black, the nice, the gold lettering, that sort of thing. Then you see the ribbons, and you have this cool purple and silver and gold thing going on. But what I love is when you look at, let's see if if I don't reproduce this here, I'll do B-roll reproduction. But you see the gold turns into purple really, really solid. It's a pretty thing the way this Bible catches when things change. And I dig that. I like things that are fancy sometimes, and this is the kind of fancy that I like all the time. Open up the inside of the Bible. The first thing that I love is single columns. I don't go crazy about single columns that often, but when they're like this, I'm gonna go a little crazy about it. Remember, this is a preaching Bible, and for me, what this means is I'm using it kind of the way I'm standing right now. I have it in front of me. The way I preach, I'll go in and out of the text, and single columns just make it easier to actually find the verse that I want to reference at that moment. The paper's nice, and I can't tell you all the technical stuff. I looked it up and found it, but I don't know about that. What I can tell you is it does not do bleed through on a Pilot G2.38. When I mark the passages I'm going to preach and then write the date above it. I do think it's really cool that this Bible has its own typeface. That's a detail that Zondervan's putting in that I just think is, like I said, I'm not fancy all the time, but this is the kind of fancy I like when I want to get fancy. This Bible just looks good when it's laid out in front of you. That's the best way for me to say it. It just looks good when it's laid out in front of us. Now, there's a couple things that I don't like, and I think it's more so my particular version is this. You know, that when you open up the inside of the first cover, it looks really, really solid, but there's a pretty prominent glue line. And honestly, the Bible is stuck together until Genesis 4. You can get to the beginning of Genesis, but it's just kind of all glued together. I noticed the first page is glued in really solid, and it's just like that in the back. The back page is like that, but I don't see the prominent glue line as bad. And all of these pages, there's a little bit of stick, and I get it. It's the front of a book. It's glued. It's all that kind of stuff. It's gonna get stuck. I don't make a big deal over that. But this is my new preaching Bible, the Zondervan. I can't say this. The New Revised Standard Single Column Reference Bible Premium Collection from Zondervan, and it's absolutely I'm willing to break my rule about premium Bibles for this Bible. So I'm Chad, and I'll catch you back in the next video.